I need my coffee. Hi, this is a less than ideal mic setup, but there is something going on with my Yeti mic. It just will not properly do anything, no matter what I do with it. So I gotta sort that out. I have a different mic probably somewhere that I could probably bust out, but I don't feel like going and finding it, so tiny lavalier mic it is. Sorry, bear with me. I just recorded this whole thing once off the dome, because it was like just supposed to be a simple, quick video, and my audio didn't record correctly, so we're trying again. Hopefully this works. If it doesn't, I'm gonna cry. Hi, welcome back to the channel. My name is Jess Galaxy, and I am here to tell you guys where I've been for the last, roughly 1 year since I posted a video. Actually, I posted a video about layoffs today, the day that I'm filming this video, but that will be December 19th, I think, for you guys. I wanted to do that video first just because I had written the script and I kind of wanted to get it out of the way. It was a little bit more difficult to film, so I did that one before I did this one, and I hope you liked it, so there's that. So today we're just going to be talking about where I've been and what I've been doing and where this channel is going and why I've been so MIA for so long. Hopefully you guys are interested in that and you're interested in where this channel is going, and if you have any questions you can feel free to ask me in the comments. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. That would be really helpful to me. Or if you enjoyed my layoffs video, I realized I forgot to say that in that video, and when you say it in the video people are more likely to do it. Anyway, so I just wanted to give you a quick overview of where I've been, why I've been gone, and just kind of explain myself a little bit and tell you then where I'm going with this channel and what's going on, and make a quick little announcement at the end. First things first, let's talk about where I've been. So in 2020, the end of 2020, when everyone was having a really bad time, my company was acquired. I had been working at a tech startup, it was acquired. I found a job at a new tech startup that I really enjoyed. I liked working there. I worked there for about a year. I was acquired again with that tech startup. This time I stayed at the company that acquired us, and basically going from the first tech startup that I mentioned, things were pretty chill there. We didn't have a super heavy workload, so I just had a lot more time on my hands. Plus it was quarantine, so I wasn't going out and doing things on the weekend, and I was living in a tiny little condo just hanging out with my bunnies. Then as quarantine started to subside and people started being able to kind of do things and mask up and go out, and also I wound up at this new job. I had a lot more to do at the job. I was really busy with work, and then we got acquired and I was even more busy with work. We were building out a team. We were doing all the stuff that we never had the chance to do because we never had the budget to do it. And so yeah, that's really one of the main factors here, is that we just got busy, life happened, and on top of that it was just coming out of quarantine and being able to go and actually spend some quality time with family members and friends that I had not seen during quarantine. It took a lot of my time. I was really excited. If you don't know this, I'm really close. I have a very close-knit group of friends that I've known for a really long time that are a really big important support system for me, and I did not see them for basically all of quarantine, and we did Zoom meetings and things like that, but it just it wasn't the same. Then after all of that started to kind of subside and I was getting busier with work and stuff like that, my grandmother passed in late 2021, and I was given the opportunity to purchase her house, which is the house that I'm sitting in right now. So I moved, and this move was just a nightmare in general. I would never do anything like this again. Well, no, I would do it again, but that's not the point. Basically, late 2021, my friends and I kind of made the house livable. She was a heavy smoker, my grandmother, so we had to wash all the walls with a special chemical, and I had to use this special paint and all of this stuff, and I still haven't painted all of the rooms. I'm working on it, and I had to run an ozone machine in here for 72 hours to try and get all of the smells out. I moved in October of 2021. Not truly moved in. We made the house livable. I had a bed, and I had ripped out some carpet and things like that, and just kind of allowed myself to be able to be here, but I didn't have any of my furniture or a couch or anything like that. I had one armchair that was here already that I was sitting on for a really long time, and a coffee table, and that was all that was in my massive living room, or family room I should say. It's really more of a family room. And so that's really what happened there. I did a couple of things. I set up these bookshelves that are behind me. This is a dining room, but I'm kind of using it as a vague, messy library office space. I don't know what to call it. It's kind of a junk room in a little bit. of a way, and this isn't even the ADHD doombox room. Anyway, so this house came with a lot of work. I had to do a lot of projects myself. On top of that, I had a lot of people coming in and doing construction, which just like kind of made it difficult for me to film in general. And then on top of all of that, my mental health was kind of low, honestly, for a collection of reasons, but particularly they were all around like body image and stuff like that. So it was really hard for me to film, even for TikTok. I had a really hard time putting my face on camera, and even more so for YouTube, because on TikTok on your phone, like, you know, you kind of know the selfie angles and things like that. You can kind of do things so that you don't feel like your worst parts are showing. With YouTube, that's a lot harder to do, and so I just want to be transparent about that. That was something that kind of created a barrier for me, kind of trying to get back into this when I did have more time. And obviously I put out a couple videos here or there, and I am still really proud of all of the videos I've done in the past. I'm especially still really proud of my Essek video. I will never not be proud of that video, but you know, there was a bit of a barrier there for me kind of trying to pick things back up and restart this channel. In October of this year, I was laid off from the large corporate job that I had. I talk about this all in depth in the layoff video that I just put out, so if you want, go watch that for more information. But basically, I just have more time to make videos now because of it, and yeah, so that's like really where I've been as far as like work goes and my day job, which leads me to the next thing I want to talk about, which, where did I put them? Oh god. Which are these? I have put out 2 books in the last 2 years. So Feathers of Dawn, I actually started in 2018 when I lost my job then. You know, kind of really wrote it as like a way to make myself feel better, and was just like looking for something kind of cozy and fun and adventurous, and so that's what this is. And then obviously once I put this out in 2023, there was like a large editing period and process, and I also tried to query this book a little bit. That's why it kind of took so long between, or well, I wrote it in 2018. I was writing it during my like any time that I had, just like on and off, and then in quarantine I was like, you know what, I'm gonna finish this. I did a round of dev edits with a friend. I queried for a little bit. I decided to change up I decided I wanted a more professional edit. No offense to my friend. She did a great job. It was just I wanted an even more professional edit. I found an editor. I did a developmental edit with her, really in depth, and so it made this book way stronger, which is really what's important here. Got this all done, did a copy edit with her as well. I wound up putting this out on November 3rd, 2023. Since then I've sold just over like 1,200 copies, I want to say, which I'm really proud of, because this is like my first book. I've been marketing it hard ever since I published it. And then on January 1st of 2024, I announced Armor of Dusk, which is the sequel to Feathers of Dawn. This is a completed duology. Again, same thing, only the difference between these 2 books was I had this pretty much written when I first brought it to my developmental editor. Like, quite literally it was done. I handed it off to her and just kind of didn't think about it. This book I had about 15,000 words for at the end of 2023, so I needed to very quickly finish it. So I finished it. Writing a book 2 is much easier than writing a book 1, I will say that. I knew exactly where I wanted the plot to go. I just kind of had to sit down and figure out how to get there. And so I did that, handed it off a little bit underwritten to the developmental editor. It went from like 95,000 words to 135,000 words. That's the version that I'm holding here. This is actually an ARC copy. And then during the copy edit, I wound up cutting like about 25,000 words. So it wound up being like about the same like length. So they're both about 110-ish. I don't know if the math that I just said out loud all made sense, but you know. Anyway, so that was really what I was doing there, and so everything was happening with my day job, getting way busier, and then on top of that I was doing this. You can imagine that I was just really busy and I didn't really have a lot of time. Writing, editing, publishing, and marketing a book is expensive and time consuming, and writing, filming, and editing YouTube videos is also time consuming. Not as expensive, I will say that. This is a little bit funny when you think about it, but that's mostly because I can do my editing myself for videos, so that's why. And so yeah, that's really like where I've been, what's been going on, and now I kind of just want to talk very briefly about where this channel is going. Obviously I'm picking it back up. I still want to do video essays, deep dives, rants, and just kind of talk about stuff that I'm thinking about. You know, things like the Essek video, my video about like Game of Thrones disease, and like dark fantasy kind of invading all levels of fantasy because of the popularity of certain shows. All of those are gonna stay. I'm probably gonna keep doing them. They are hard to write though. I'm always really proud of the scripts after I've written them, I will say, but because they are a little bit more difficult to write and a little bit more difficult to film, because I have to use like a teleprompter and all of this stuff, they might be a little bit fewer and further between. That being said though, I do have a lot of time on my hands, so you never know. I might do a lot of them. In addition to that though, I just really want to add on some stuff that I want to do. So the first big thing I want to do is I want to start doing more author-focused content. I have a very heavy marketing background. I've been working in marketing for the last 10 years, right up until I was laid off in October. And so because of that, I have a background that I've noticed a lot of other authors do not have, indie authors in particular. And so I think that really speaks to the success that Feathers of Dawn has had, and then subsequently Armor of Dusk has had. And so because of that, I really want to start making videos that are catered to that indie author audience, just to kind of give them ways that they can kind of step up their marketing, make things easier on themselves, and just get their books out there. So that's the first thing that I want to add. This is also going to include some like longer form stuff, more like scripted content about ways to write certain things. There are certain things that I've been asked to talk about, like how I write fight scenes and things like that, that I can't do on TikTok. I'm gonna probably be making videos about that as well. And then the other thing I kind of want to add, since I'm unemployed, I do want to start doing kind of some vlogging content, particularly around like what it's like being an indie author, and you know, just kind of certain things that I'm doing like month to month as an indie author. I have done some vlogs on TikTok around that sort of thing, but honestly, like I never sit down and talk in them. I'm really just kind of like showing clips and, you know, maybe saying like a couple of words like, oh, I'm really tired after this event and things like that. So I really want to kind of give you guys a better look at what it's like to be an indie author and kind of just sit down and talk to you about what it's like. And I'm hoping, again, I am looking for a day job. I'm hoping when I do get into a day job, I can kind of give you guys more of a clear look of what it's like to have a day job and be an indie author. Reason for that is because obviously I need to keep a roof over my head, so obviously I need a day job. I really doubt that YouTube is going to become that day job, because 100% I lost my monetization. I had it for first of all, I never made very much. I never hit the threshold I needed to get a payout from YouTube. And then I didn't post for long enough that I'm no longer monetized. So YouTube is definitely not going to become like a moneymaker for me by any means. I'm just kind of making videos because it's something that I can do and I really enjoy doing it, and I always have enjoyed doing it. So yeah, and I think there's some things that I want to share with the world, and particularly with other indie authors, to just kind of give them a leg up. So yeah, those are the big things that I'm going to be adding to the content here. And so last but not least in this video, I do have a little bit of an announcement. I've talked about this on other social channels, but I signed an audiobook deal for Feathers of Dawn, and actually Armor of Dusk. So it's for the whole entire duology. I've already picked out my narrator. I'm so excited. My narrator is so good. I'm not going to say much more because I'm going to make a separate announcement. So I need to figure that out before I start talking about them. But yeah, so I got really, really lucky. In October, I did an event called Stuff with Fantasy, which is a Stuff Your Kindle event. Basically, a bunch of indie authors come together. There's a website. We all list our books for free at the same time, and that allows us to just get a really big bump in business because all of us are kind of advertising it at the same time. And so I got a little over 13,000 downloads during that event. Because my books were kind of really high listed on Amazon, someone from a company called Podium Entertainment happened to see them. They really liked the cover. They saw that it was an ML non-binary story, so men loving non-binary, and saw that I was a non-binary author, and they decided that they wanted to reach out to me and speak to me about the possibility of creating an audiobook based on this series. And so I am super excited. And I've talked about this a little bit on this channel. I've actually always had the problem where people have been like, is there gonna be an audiobook? And I feel so bad when I had to tell them that like it was prohibitively expensive for me to create an audiobook as an indie author. And the reason I say it that way is because it really is. It's really expensive to make an audiobook. They're really, really pricey. So a lot of indie authors don't have them, but if you know me, I'm dyslexic, and I actually rely a lot of times on audiobooks to be able to read books, just because sometimes, because of it can be as simple as just like the font the author happened to choose in the book. It can be really difficult for me to read those books, so an audiobook is really important to me as an accessibility tool. So I always felt really, really bad. Like I felt double bad whenever people were like, oh, are you gonna make an audiobook? And I had to be like, I can't, because I can't afford to. So Podium Entertainment, thank you so much, making that happen for me, and I feel much better to be able to say that I am going to have audiobook versions of both of these books finally. And yeah, and I'm really excited about that. This is kind of my first like real like traditionally published author deal, and it was a good deal too, so I was really excited. And so yeah, that's everything for today. Thank you so much for listening to me. I really hope my audio worked this time. And yeah, have a great day. Bye, y'all. I'm tilted again. I'll fix it in post.